Okay, welcome to episode 27. I think we're on 27. I've got to check these days. 27. Praise be to Allah. I think we're going to start with a song, Straight in. Should we just go straight in? Yeah. Ascertain. I'm in a lot of pain, yeah. Come on, yeah. Like, I'm in a lot of pain. I love Farrakhan too much, I hope we're the same. The rabbit was white, but the whole black again. Think over that, ascertain. I felt betrayed like 25-8. Trust me, my radiance covered in braveness. Trust me, I'm able to struggle with Cain. Watch me, I'm stallion, look at my face, like look at my... Yeah, come on. Readers, look in your mind, what does it say? Yeah. Preachers go after tyrants, ruin a day. Yeah. Believe me now, you're in a fight like Batman and Bane. Yeah. Creepers look at your crimes instead of your labor. Look at the opposition, that's a proposition to be thorough. They mock it so silly, road it was rocky division one. Pushed them in Benadryl. They broke in the house to revenomate. Broken statue tackle many. Now you'll be melancholy cause you're melanated. So it's death when we separate. Doom night, got a soon side. Go a slack line over universe. Why you stack cash? I'm in disguise. I go strap chimes to the trillionth. The last rhyme we got laughed at. We got backlash cause it's clear enough. Pick a fight, I go Cobra Kai. I got macho, you insidious. She was moonlight, got a backside, got a dark side. Are you serious? Yeah, cruel pliant, that's a strap size. Put a capsize in my mirror. I'll make a tune about it. Morals wax light. I'm going back mine till it's videos. What's your shoe size? Cause your sack's light. You got jackknives cause you hideous. Said it, you know. Attributes tracking the lazy and bold. Mystery hand got it, maybe you fold. Fold, you fly. Spiritual ghost, stuck in the mud, patient for rose, hacking a tree with the horns of a goat. Yeah, protecting my soul, that's border patrol. Yeah. Gee! I don't know why, but I just felt like doing some lyrics. You get me? Yeah. I like that bit at the end. Steady, you know, yeah. Lazy and pose, mystery hang on it, maybe you fold. Feeling you flapping, now flaming that foam. Number 8 back by the spiritual ghost. Stuck in the mud, patient for rose. Hacking a tree with the horns of a goat. Protecting my soul, it's border patrol. Yeah. Well, that's a way to start the episode, isn't it? Yes, sir. I might start with music every time. I could do. Because I feel like, it's on my heart, isn't it? It's on my heart. Allah knows it's on my heart. Because, He tries you with what you love most, He tries you with what you love most. Just know that. But, okay. Anyway, we're going to continue with... hopefully we're going to get through this chapter today. We've got... do you know what? We are going to have to go quick if we're going to get through it. In fact, we're still going to have to go, rapid, really. Because I talk so much, right, that I don't get past, 2 pages. I'm not joking. Or, 2 sections or whatever. I think it's took me, where are we up to? Yeah, we're up to section 4. And we've been doing chapter 24. Since chapter 24, this is what we've been on. We're on episode... I don't know, the numbers are a little bit off, I think, as well. I don't know. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you... So, we will start in prayer. Really, we should have started in prayer, but we started with music. So... Alright. In the name of Allah, the entirely beneficent, the entirely merciful. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord of all the worlds. Sovereign of the day of recompense, it is you, Allah, whom we serve, and it is you, Allah, whom we ask for help. Guide us, Allah, to the straight path, the path of those upon whom you have bestowed favour, not of those who have evoked your anger, nor those who are astray. I want to thank the entire nation of Islam for being, as it is, our teaching source during such a dark hour, and I would like to thank my mother who raised me and made sacrifices that I am learning of and yet will never comprehend the depth of. I saw something, and it basically said, if you was on a train and you woke up on a train, yeah, and you woke up blindfolded on a train, and you had no recollection of getting there, you know, what would be the first thing that you think, or what would be the first things that you think? First of all, you'd be like, where am I? You know, second of all, you'd think, where am I going? And then like, you would just be, I mean, you would be thinking for sure. You wouldn't be you wouldn't be just happy being on a train going somewhere where you don't know. So, with this in mind, likewise, we shouldn't be waking up in this world, you know, especially in our later life. Like, if people are older and they wake up to a nightmare, really, or to a reality that's not familiar, or to a reality that's like deficient of answers, like definitive answers, truthful answers. You know, just do that. And so, like, there's a lot of people today that are waking up, you know, a lot of people today, and we should be careful with how we wake up. We should be careful with those who have woken up, or who are waking up, you know. There's an element of patience, not just for oneself, but be patient because other people are really in need of your patience. You may want to speed ahead, you may want to, you know, take things to the next level, but see, Allah is the best knower. He knows like who, and he knows when to take things to the next level, you know. So just thought I'd bring that to the, that's just on my heart to say. But yeah, like I wanna maybe do some more lyrics in like other episodes, and you know, it really is something for me personally, because it's one of my gifts, but it's also one of my biggest trials as well. So how I look at it, I'm like, how do we go about this here now? You know. So let's get through this chapter, eh? Let's get through it, eh? Let's get ready to rumble. All right. So we are on preventative measures. O you who believe, enter not houses other than your own houses, until you have asked permission and saluted their inmates. This is better for you, that you may be mindful. But if you find no one therein, enter them not, until permission is given to you. And if it is said to you, go back, then go back. This is purer for you, and Allah is knower of what you do. It is no sin for you to enter uninhabited houses. It is no sin for you to enter uninhabited houses wherein you have your necessaries, and Allah knows what you do openly and what you hide. It's interesting, this verse, because when I was first coming into Islam and I was reading the Quran, I was already in an environment that was explaining things that I couldn't understand why I felt disrespected by it. So I'll give you an example. Like my house growing up, you know, me and my two brothers, we made sure that everybody was socially welcome, should we say. We were a socially active set of brothers. Like, you know, people could walk in. So point being is, we were so welcoming that people thought, and people did, they just walked into our house, you know. You know how you knock on a person's door? Well, we were so, like, I guess, wide open, pardon the pun, is that the door was wide open. You know when they say that, my door is open, my door is wide open for you. Well, people would genuinely, some of my friends growing up, you know, they would genuinely get to my door and they wouldn't knock. They would just walk in. And I got to a stage when, after I'd been like doing my Islam for a bit and sort of getting away from that crowd and getting away from that environment, that was starting to really irritate me. I would start to get really irritated by it. Like, I would actually say, like, yo, knock on the door, like, you're gonna start knocking on the door now. Like, or I would do it like this. I'd be like, I'd like open the door, I'd bring them back to the door, I'd open it and then close it and then knock it, like, as a showing them, like, this is what you do. Like, you knock, mate. You know what I mean? It's not the same anymore. Me and my little tantrums, me and my little ways. Just put that there. So I've kind of like, the table's a bit of a mess. So, yeah, it's interesting that. So just thought I'd make a note of that. A little bit of story of my life there. All right. Say to the believing men that they lower their gaze and restrain their sexual passions. That is purer for them. Surely Allah is aware of what they do. And say to the believing women that they lower their gaze and restrain their sexual passions and do not display their adornment, except what appears thereof. And let them wear their head coverings over their bosoms, and they should not display their adornment except to their husbands or their fathers, or the fathers of their husbands, or their sons of their husbands, or their brothers brothers' sons, or their sisters' sons, or their women. I'm just going to cut this up halfway through. And those basically whom is trustworthy. Do you understand? And that's not in a sexual way. That's in that naturally, because I can hear the thoughts of the people listening to this. Because I'm good at tuning up on folks, and I know that the way they look at it, I know the way I look at it, but I know also the way that people can perceive it as well and look at it. And this verse is basically saying, in a nutshell, that those whom the woman, because it's speaking to the woman, tell the believing women to lower their gaze and restrain their sexual passions. Like, maybe you don't understand this, but the powerful influence of a woman over a man, and her adornment, and her, her form. And you could even say that even today, this is just as hard, because, or this applies to a degree, because, you've got fathers who have been abusing their daughters today in this world. So, it's not, and obviously this revelation came 1400 years ago. So there are elements of this that has to be brought into the modern times. As we said, as Elijah Muhammad has stated, that we must bring Islam straight down to the modern times. And he was so good at doing that. And to furtherly, apply this statement, and to apply it to this verse that I'm going to go through probably again, is that he said that 70%, I believe, of his work, 75% of his work, I believe, was with women, and that 25% was with the man. So just think over that as to how we're going to get through this time, and really how we're going to get through creating. Well, I can't give birth, but how we are going to produce from our, from the womb, gods and children who are going to have a natural niche and a love for the future of the world, the future of man, really. And the future of man is only understanding, it is only closeness to God, it is only, spreading the light of truth and fighting on behalf of truth, And so to display that, so to restrain, so say to the believing women that they lower their gaze and restrain their sexual passions and do not display their adornment except what appears thereof. And actually, sorry, I'm going to go into this again, but yesterday was Mother's Day, and my nana, well, I was showing her a video of like me at the church yesterday, and she was really happy for me. And she said, "Do you know this?" She went, "Jack, do you know that Um, when I was younger, I used to wear a head covering, and I didn't know that. She was like, I used to wear a head covering myself, and it was. I think it's because, like back then, it's different in the UK. Like the UK is really interesting to me. I don't know, there's something about the UK. Because like you'll look back at videos and stuff, and it's like people did have like quite a lot of modesty and a lot of self-respect back then. Like you remember when lipstick was coming about? Well, they used to really hate that. Like there were certain women who wanted to keep their dignity. They didn't like this whole lipstick world and makeup world that was coming in. It's quite interesting. Like I saw a video of like a bunch of women from Wolverhampton back in the day, and they were looking at dresses that were coming to the knee. They were all wearing dresses to the ankle, but they were looking at dresses that were being like sold and propagated that were coming to the knee, and those dresses were obviously opening the bosom, the breast area, and they were saying, "Oh no, I wouldn't wear that." They were saying, "Oh, that's terrible." Like they could see that it was breaking a certain structure that really is pleasing to God. Like, and a lot of people have a lot to say about this, like, because so much of their freedoms are really the main pillars of their freedom are under attack and are under scrutiny, are under like heavy fire, shall we say. They really take pride in their freedoms in other areas, even though those freedoms, such as, you know, not restraining their sexual passions and not restraining in displaying their adornment, that has a full impact on the way that they view the freedoms. Like they hold on to it. So like it's a freedom. It's really not. It's putting you in more danger, sister. But anyway, so see, and guileless male servants. See, I was getting to it. I've already addressed it really, but I didn't even get to that part. So it says, and let them wear their head coverings over their bosoms, and they should not display their adornment except to their husbands, or their fathers, or their fathers of their husbands, or their sons, or their sons of their husbands, or their brothers, or their brothers' sons, or their sisters' sons, or their women, or those whom their right hands possess, or guileless male servants, or the children who know not women's nakedness, and let them not strike their feet so that the adornment that they hide may be known. Oh, that's interesting. And turn to Allah, all, O believers, so that you may be successful. That's really interesting. Because when you strike the feet, the whole body moves. And let's just say that. Alright, let's just leave it at that. Sorry, but sorry if that's a little bit inappropriate, but I had a message of something then. Because, like, yeah, just, yeah. Yeah. I says, I'm married though. There is a lot of stuff in the footnotes here, which I just don't think by time wise we're going to have that time to go through. Um, maybe we could do. All right, we'll do just this page, I think. Or I tell you what. No, we won't. We won't. We won't. We'll keep going, guys, because I know what I'm like. I say this and I'll carry on a bit. 3 hours later, like SpongeBob. Like 3 hours later, I'm still on the same point, and I kind of want to get. I want to get back to my own work. I do want to get to my own work because I'm like, but the Quran is just so amazing, and it's Ramadan, and obviously we take great reverence to the holy book in the month of Ramadan. And I've been telling myself I've not really been reading the Quran, but really I've been, with these broadcasts, I really have been doing a lot of the Quran. But I think because I've given it to you, I've not really seen that I'm also giving it to myself. So, pat on the back there, Jack. That's for you, mate. So, alright. Marry those among you who are single, and those who are fit among your male servants and your female slaves. If they are needy, Allah will make them free from want out of His grace, and Allah is ample giving, knowing. And let those who cannot find a match keep chaste. Yes, sir. Until Allah makes them free from want out of His grace. And those of your slaves who ask for a writing of freedom, give them the writing. And if you know any good in them, and give them of the wealth of Allah which He has given to you, and compel not your slave girls to prostitution when they desire to keep chaste, in order to seek the frail goods of this world's life. You know, that's really interesting. So let me get to the end of it. And whoever compels them, then surely after their compulsion Allah is forgiving and merciful. You know, that makes me think of like the OnlyFans world, you know. Like, because like look, and compel not your slave girls to prostitution when they desire to keep chaste, in order to seek the frail goods of this world's life. See, the frail goods is like the money that a lot of these girls would be getting on these OnlyFans sites, because they're actually like, they're prostituting the body online basically, and they're leaving the body like for other men to just like gawp over. And just really, it's a two-way destruction, because you've got women who are having to use their body to just get by, I guess, and to experience that so-called freedom. And then you've got men who are destroying their chastity, their chasteness as well, and their purity by, you know, staring at something that is really not to be stared at. And like, Lord knows that men have trouble with this. You know, it's like telling a lion sometimes to not like think about the meat that he's you know, that he sees every day. It's like, I tried to say this in the best manner, so pardon me if this is not being said in probably the best way that I could. But you know, I'm just like you. I'm just human. I'm only human after all. Don't put the blame on me. So like, you know, women have a real influence on a man's mind, and likewise, the men have a real influence on a woman's mind as well. Um, as it's saying here, because it's asking them like, compel not your slave girls to prostitution. So it's like you have a power to really affect a woman's life path just by, you know, I've had many encounters where people think I'm some like sex driven dude, right? And I like it. No, I like it for not the reason that you might think, but I like that I get the chance to be able to speak to the woman through like, in a way she might not have expected, because she thinks her beauty can, it's like a woman who can't be bought. Well, same likewise, it's like a man who can't be seduced. A woman who can't be bought is just like the man who can't be seduced in a way, because the woman won't be, you know, be derailed by having to, or by the riches of a man, or having to, you know, having to sort of depend on, not depend, because it's quite natural in a way for that. You know what I mean? And then it's the same with a man. Like, when a man can't be like ruled by his lower nature, it's basically the underworld in both the male and female to me. Like, a woman who won't sell out, and then a man who won't a man who won't give in. So you see that? You see how that works? I don't know. Praise be to Allah. It works to me as I'm explaining it, so I hope it works to you lot. So yeah, and certainly we have sent to you clear messages and a description of those who passed away before you, and an admonition to those who guard against evil. Because at the end of the day, it is evil. Like, but you can break the news in a better way than just saying, like, it's really like when you have these women, I swear to God, man, when the minister Farrakhan said that, like, these prostitutes and sometimes gay and lesbian and those who are a little bit like sexually like derailed in a way or have been made mischief with, and therefore their expressions are heavily in the sexual element of things. He said that when he was growing up, he said they were a lot of those people were his friends. They loved him, and I understand that. Like, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, those people learn to love you. They may not be able to stick around you much in a way, or they may just have just one encounter with you, and that is really it. Because to be honest, like, a man who won't be ruled by his flesh and by the flesh of another and the form of another is really quite an intimidating man to a lot of these women. But look, there's a way you can, again, there's a way you can break the news. There's a way you can speak to such women in a way where they look at you like, you know what, like, that was that was lovely in a way. Like, the Quran says it about Prophet Muhammad. He was altogether lovely. Like, and that's what Farrakhan reminds me of. It reminds me of the Prophet. He was in his altogether loveliness. Women even questioned their morality doing such acts, and like would stick close to him and would pay attention to his work and remembered him. Do you know? It's like they remembered him. I just know that because I just know. I know that there's some things that are not unforgettable. There's some things that are hard to forget. You know, some things are memorable, and the minister is certainly memorable. Okay, so manifestation of divine light. Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. A likeness of his light is as a pillar on which is a lamp. The lamp is in a glass. The glass is as it were a brightly shining star, lit from a blessed olive tree, neither eastern nor western. The oil whereof gives light, though fire touch it not. Light upon light. Allah guides to his light whom he pleases, and Allah sets forth parables for men, and Allah is knower of all things. That is probably, I will say, one of the most interesting verses in the entire Quran for me. And I think it's something that I will be breaking down. No, I don't like that. Figuring out, explaining, trying to explain, trying to understand for the rest of my life, to be honest. Because I just, the way I write personally, I don't release a lot of what I've written. I try to think on it. And again, I'm trying to make plenty. I'm trying to make it so that, you know, I'm trying to make it so that my children and the future has my reward if I'm not there to gain it, for myself, or that, I don't know. It's just like being a father. You're one who helps one to go further and farther. But this verse, in this instance, is like, it reminds me of the way that I write sometimes, in that it's full of objects that explain spiritual realities. So again, this is called the universal. Never forget what this is all about, by the way. You think I'm just talking to you. I'm not just talking to you, beloved. I'm actually trying to bring you into a certain realm of thinking. I'm trying to help you, think better thoughts, and to be on a wavelength where better thoughts will just come natural, rather than we having to, like, deeply meditate. Like, it'll come natural. So it's like look, it says, a likeness of his light is as a pillar on which is a lamp. So even that in itself can be studied. Think about it. So Allah, so first and foremost, it says Allah is, see, I knew I wouldn't get through this. Maybe we might have to do another episode tomorrow about this, because I'm probably going to have to go into this, to be fair, because I've always wondered about it. I've always wondered about it. Because it's got a tree, it's got a star, it's got a lamp, it's got a pillar, it's got obviously a light, the earth, it's got the heavens, it's got the eastern, the western, it's got oil, it's got a tree, so an olive tree, it's got the fire, the word fire, it's got the phrase light upon light, and it's got, the word parables. And then obviously it has Allah is the knower of all things. Now, that was not in order, but if I was to give you those words and tell you that all those were included in a verse in the Quran, I mean, just as a creative person, as somebody that creatively writes for Allah, those words are almost like very pivotal points, or like very, you can pivot on a lot of those points, if that makes sense. Because they're very universal points. That's what I'm trying to say. Because look, what star doesn't shine in all directions? What lamp is not able to give off a light? And where is a light of a lamp usually? It's in the living room. Praise be to Allah. And then what is a pillar? A pillar is something that upholds something. And even when it says the lamp is in a glass, what is the glass if it's see-through? What does the meaning of the lamp being in a glass and the element of a glass being see-through? So you can see through the glass into the lamp, but does that represent its protection? I don't know. And what does the tree do? And what is the significance of an olive tree? The tree is planted, the tree is rooted firmly, and the olive can represent the smoothness. It could even represent the purity of something, because, I mean, what does oil represent in scripture? I'd love to know that. I'll research that in a minute. Light upon light. That's like the light of Allah's light being reflected off another light, or being reflected. It's almost like, have you ever seen it when a magnifying glass is used to put a hole in something, or use the light of the sun to hit the magnifying glass, and then the magnifying glass then burns. It can like, it can burn things. Like you could burn a piece of paper with the sun using a magnifying glass. So it's like a light upon light. Not that the magnifying glass is the light in that sense, but we are the objects here that I'm really referring that to. In that we can be light ourselves. Do you know what I mean? Like, let there be light. The brain is like a big light bulb. It even looks like a light bulb. And you see that little symbol sometimes, don't you? In like, in cartoons and stuff, where the light bulb will appear above the character's head. Or the ding, like you get that, light bulb moment. Some say the penny drop. I say the penny drop. Me and my mother, we say the penny drop moment. Because it's like when you put a penny into a machine, it usually comes alive, doesn't it? You put the penny in the, what do you call it? Like Michael Jackson in Smooth Criminal, when he throws the penny into the jukebox and it just, ow, everything starts coming alive. The machine starts working then. So, and then you've got neither Eastern nor Western. That reminds me of, as light shineth forth from the east to the west, so shall be the coming of the Son of Man. It also reminds me how there's a scripture in the Quran. He's the Lord of the two easts and the two wests. That's what that gives to mind as well. And then the parables, Allah sets forth parables. See, I was telling them this at church the other day. I did obviously my lecture at church. I don't think I've spoke to you since then. I had a really great time. But I had this thought that came. It was when I was listening to the minister. I got it from listening to the minister. Praise be to Allah, because it really helped. It was so blessed. It was just a blessing thing, blessed moment. I was explaining how Jesus spoke in parables to do to he had a double entendre in why he spoke in parables. So the first reason why Jesus spoke in parables is because he wanted to remain hidden from the Pharisee, from the from the Jews, the Pharisees, those who were trying to like come after him. He wanted to. Well, they weren't coming after him just at first because he was speaking in parables. You see how he was in disguise in the word. So it's like the double entendre is that Jesus was addressing, you know, his allies or those who were listening in such a way where they were able to pick up on the spiritual messages and the spiritual realities in Jesus's giving parables, and the Roman soldiers and those who were spying on Jesus couldn't tune into what the what the messages that he was saying. So Jesus was genuinely like the 007 of his time. Like he was genuinely, praised be to Allah for that wonderful servant. May Allah be pleased. And so yes. So it's a really interesting verse. And again, I'm just going over like the main words of this. So, you know, though fire touch it not. And again, you've got so many of those like dashes. You know those dashes that I was talking about last episode, if you do remember, and if you are tuning in and keeping up and remembering, Allah loves those who remember, So likewise, I'll also love it when you remember what I've said, or I love it when I remember what you've said. Praise be to Allah, because we're all trying to get up the same mountain. Your works I might need, my works you might need. In fact, my works you definitely do need. And I'm not too shy and too like, I know that. I believe that as well. I believe that I can help. I believe I am helping. I believe I am a good helper. Again, I'm a strong believer. I'm a strong believer in that I'm a strong servant. I'm not an intellectual coward, That's what it is, yo. Don't be afraid to think. Don't be afraid. That's why they say use your heart. I was telling sister. So there's a sister that reached out to me like, oh, praise be to Allah. She's gonna get herself a Quran. She's been asking me questions about Islam and stuff. And like, oh, praise be to Allah. My answers have been so glorious by His will. So obviously Allah is speaking through me to this sister. And she's now like, she's gonna get herself a Quran and stuff. And like, I'm very blessed. I'm very honoured to be a brother and to help her with stuff like that. Praise be to Allah. So maybe we could read the footnotes of this one, to be fair, because even Maulana, oh no, that's only one section. Yeah, there's only one section. Yeah, so we'll definitely read the footnotes of this one, I think, because it will interest me as well. And yeah, I need to do that. So should we read it again and then we'll go through the footnotes? I think we should. Okay, and not only that, it's the 35th verse in this chapter. So you've got chapter 24, verse 35. Think about that. You've got the 24 scientists, and then the 35 is the chapter, the originator. Just let me see what the 35th chapter starts with. Praise be to Allah, the originator of the heavens and the earth, the maker of the angels, messengers flying on wings, 2 and 3 and 4. He increases in creation what he pleases. Surely Allah is possessor over all things. That's a blessed... well, it starts with, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. I should have said that first, really. But it starts that with a lot of verses in the Quran. Chapters in the Quran, pardon me. Oh, praise be to Allah. It's a lovely chapter, but I always look at the number 35 as like, well, the originator, a sign of the originator. So, and it's talking about Allah. Look, Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. A likeness of his light is as a pillar on which is a lamp. Oh, I can see that now. A pillar on which is a lamp. The lamp is in a glass. The glass is, as it were, I can see it now, actually. I can actually see it, what it's explaining. The glass is, I can see it in my mind. The glass is, maybe follow this. I'm going to go over it again. Try and picture this in your brain. Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. A likeness of his light is as a pillar on which is a lamp. The lamp is in a glass. The glass is, as it were, a brightly shining star, lit from a blessed olive tree, neither eastern nor western. Oh, this is so mathematical and so precise. The oil whereof gives light, though fire touch it not, light upon light. That is actually fascinating, what I'm seeing. You know, Allah is explaining something so mathematical here, you know. It's almost like, the best way I can explain this without confusing you is, if the sun was to be brought any closer to the earth, it would be catastrophe. And if the sun was any further away, it would be catastrophe. And so everything is sublimely in position. So the fact that the pillar is, it almost reminds me of uprightness. It's uprightness to its finest uprightness. Oh, praise be to Allah. Whew. Wow. It's like, and Abraham just gains in my mind. Praise be to Allah for Abraham. Because it says Abraham was an upright man. And it's like, you know, Allah's whole... You know what it says as well in the Quran? That Allah is in a perpetual state of glory. You know, and it also says, as we've dealt with in other verses, in recent episodes, that Allah is on the throne of grace. Or he's on the throne of glory as well. His is the throne of glory. And it almost... oh my days, like... And here's another thing to consider. A tree is not necessarily symmetrical on both sides, usually. If that makes sense. And that represents Allah's creativity and his ability to be like formless. You know, the tree is almost like formless in a way, in the way that it grows. It grows in a freeing and in a way of freedom. You know, trees don't grow in straight lines in a way. Like, the tree has curvature. The tree has flow, you know. So that's what that blessed olive tree is. And I was going to search up olive tree. That's what I was going to do. Praises be to Allah. This is an exciting... I told you I'll be on this verse for a while, because it always inspires me when I... But I'm so glad that I've done the breakdown of how it inspires me and the way that it's come, like, in this episode. So I'm really grateful of that. So olive. So I'm gonna put olives. Wait, olive tree in Islam. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't search what that is in that way. So in Islam, the olive tree is considered a blessed Mubarak. Oh, no way, Mubarak tree. Oh, so Mubarak means blessed. Okay. I thought Mubarak meant tree, but it doesn't. It means blessed, I think, because they say blessed Ramadan, and it's like Ramadan Mubarak, I think. So in Islam, the olive tree is considered a blessed tree. Mentioned 7 times. That number again, I tell you. Mentioned 7 times in the Quran as a symbol of peace, healing, and divine blessing. It is heavily revered for its nourishment, longevity, and economic value, frequently used as sadaqah jariyah, ongoing charity, to provide sustainable income for families. Praises be to Allah. It's mentioned 7 times. The olive tree is mentioned 7 times. Jibreel. I just think of Jibreel on that number 7. Oh, I'm stretching. I love stretching. Stretching out the word. Stretching out. Taking plenty. Like that big olive tree. Like that big pillar. And that big... Just that big picture that we have to feed on there is... It's a blessing. It's a blessing. So, Quranic significance. The olive is mentioned multiple times in the Quran, including Surah 95, where Allah swears by the olive and the fig. And the fig! You know me and my figs, guys. You know what's going on with me and my figs. Oh, I'm so tempted to eat one. I've got him in front of me. Me and my figs. And you know what? They're not really figs. I'm not even... What am I talking about? These are not even figs. These are like biscuit figs, not actual figs. Gosh, Jack. Why are you playing it out as though you're eating figs? You're not even eating figs. You're eating the rubbish figs, really. Come on, Jack. Step it up, mate. Where Allah swears by the olive tree and the fig, indicating its high importance. It is also highlighted in Surah 24. Yeah, that's what we're on, baby. The verse of light. Oh, in the famous Ayat An-Nur, verse of... So, oh my God. Guys, this is the verse of light. The famous, it says, verse of light. Oh, I can't wait to read the footnotes now. We're probably going to spend all episode on this because it is the light. Oh, praise be to Allah. Alright, let's see what else it says. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, referred to the tree as blessed and encouraged the use of its oil. He said, "Eat the olive and use it, for indeed it is from a blessed tree." The oil is commonly used for both nutrition, medicinal purpose. Do you know what's crazy as well? Is I didn't... Well, I eat olives, well, obviously, when I can. Because sometimes I forget. Do you know what? I'm going to go and get some olives in a bit now. Oh my God. I'm so going to go and get some olives. Yep. I'm so going to do that. Well, I might end this... No, I can't just end the broadcast to go and get some olives early. I'm so excited to break fast today. Okay, chill out, Jack. But, what was I going to say now? Yeah, my mother always gets olives. And I'll sometimes... Like, she stops me eating them. My mother loves olives, right? And I never used to like them. And one day I just started like eating them. And do you want me to tell you something about olives? They're so potent. Like when you eat an olive, you're like, let me tell you this. When I make a salad, right? And listen, I make a good salad. I have to put the olives on the outside of the salad. Because the olives, they're so strong that all the other salads in there just get completely drowned by the olive, like overpowered by the olive. The olive is so rich. It's so... Oh my God, I can't wait to eat an olive later. Seriously. It's got me in the mood for olives. Right, let's calm it down here. Flipping Nora, it's like I'm falling in love with olives. Just like, I don't even know. Praise be to Allah. Okay, so you know of all things. So we didn't even get to finish in that verse, right? We'll do the verse again, I get something new every time. Praise be to Allah. I think I'm getting a little bit excited. I think I just need to slow down a minute. This is a very powerful verse. This is a very powerful light within the Holy Quran. And I must breathe. I must breathe at this point in time before I read the verse again. Because Allah is revealing things to me, and I have to be careful, because anything with value has to be taken with great care and great patience and great studiousness and reverence and love. Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. A likeness of his light is as a pillar on which is a lamp. The lamp is in a glass. The glass is as it were a brightly shining star, lit from a blessed olive tree, neither eastern nor western, the oil whereof gives light, though fire touch it not, light upon light. Allah guides to his light whom he pleases, and Allah sets forth parables for men, and Allah is knower of all things. So where it has those gaps, and interestingly enough, it comes after after certain points that are interesting. So it says, a likeness of his spirit is as a pillar on which is a lamp, that dash. And then another place it says, and then after it says, the lamp is in a glass. The glass is as it were a brightly shining star, gap, lit from a blessed olive tree, neither eastern nor western. The oil whereof gives light, though fire touch it not, gap, light upon light, full stop. That's really interesting. So we've kind of got to the footnotes now. So 35a, Nur, light, which means, when you say al-Nur, it means the light. So Nur, light, is that which manifests hidden things. And Allah is called here the light of the heavens and the earth, because he has manifested them and brought them into existence. Mishkat means niche, but Majd explains it as meaning, or MGD, I don't know if that's MGD or Majd, I don't know how to say that. Again, I don't speak Arabic yet, inshallah. But so Majd explains it as meaning amud or pillar. So, niche. Oh my God, praise be to Allah. You know how many revelations you can receive just by hearing this and studying this through just the translation of English alone? Wait until you understand, as I'm learning to understand, how many branches of understanding are connected to the words through the Arabic and ancient languages, or as they say, the cousin languages. So it's like Hebrew, Arabic, all these, they're called cousin languages. There's another language that's escaped me. What is it? It's not Sanskrit, is it? I don't know. I don't think it is. I don't know. Praises be to Allah, though. So, just imagine how many, like, because one word has so many branches to other words in Arabic, whereas, you know, because of, like, sometimes the accents on words, language is just altogether a very interesting, it's a very interesting reality, really. Communication, like in the beginning was the word, you know, and the word was God, and the word was with God. Sorry, the word was with God. Sorry, the word was God. Wait, sorry, pardon me. I'm trying to get it in the right order. It was with God and it was God. I think that's the order that it comes in. Praise be to Allah. Sorry about that. I don't intend to confuse you or anything. I really don't. I'm confusing me sometimes, so sorry about that. I'm really apologising to me. Pardon me. But yeah, so in the parable that follows, Islam is represented as a likeness of the divine light, a light placed high on a pillar so as to illuminate the whole world. Illuminate, not eliminate. Illuminate the whole world. The light guarded by being placed in a glass so that no puff or wind can put it out. Oh, I like that. Yes. Because people like to blow out the candles that have been lit. And the lamp is like a candle in a way. You know, that's what it reminds me of. People want to blow it out, like, you know, to put you back in the dark. All praise be to Allah. So that no puff or wind can put it out. A light so resplendent that the glass itself in which it is placed in as a brilliant star. It should be noted that do you know what it reminds me of? Oh my God, I'm looking at him. I'm looking at him. Do you know who I'm looking at? Praises be to Allah. Who am I looking at, beloved? I'm looking at the minister. He's on my wall. He's always in front of me when I'm when I'm teaching. When I'm like going through these things, I've got him in front of me at all times. Oh, praise be to Allah. Reminds me of him. Praises be to Allah. It should be right. It should be noted that the religion. Why is it like him? Sorry, I think I need to elaborate. It's like him because he is as that well-protected star. You know, he is as that great resplendent and brilliant star that can't be blown out by nobody in the earth. As Elijah Muhammad said to him, this is the one that the world can't touch. This is the one that the world can't touch. And the world has not been able to touch him. In terms of taking away his divine light from Allah, he has been very successful in staying rooted, just as the tree, the blessed olive tree. He is as a pillar, so he has been raised to a lofty place, raised to a high degree. You know, and he is a blessed olive tree. He's not just an olive tree, he's like a blessed tree, blessed olive tree. And back to that example before, the olive is very, very strong in taste. And to some, it's a bitter taste. And he is bitter in taste to some, and he is very sweet and strong and nourishing in taste to others. And the minister is a glorious servant. Praises be to Allah. So, it should be, so back to the footnotes. It should be noted that the religion of Islam is repeatedly spoken as the divine light of the holy in the Holy Quran. They desire to put out the light of Allah with their mouths, but Allah will allow nothing save the perfection of His light, though the disbelievers are averse. Praises be to Allah. Hence, it is of Islam that the parable of divine light speaks. The blessed olive from which that light is lit, and which stands here for a symbol of Islam, as the fig stands for a symbol of Judaism. See 95.3a. Oh, I would love to do that, to be fair. So, symbol of Judaism belongs neither. Oh, wait, hold on. Symbol of Judaism belongs neither to the East nor the West. Even so is Islam, which must give light to both the East and the West. Yes, and which therefore does not spatially belong to either of them. The reference seems to be to the welding together of the East and the West. In Islam, praises be to Allah. A prophecy which is now approaching its fulfillment in the awakening. Pardon me. Our unity is more powerful than the atomic bomb. The Honourable Elijah Muhammad. Even so is Islam, which must give light to both the East and the West, and which therefore does not spatially belong to either of them. The reference seems to be the welding together of the East and the West, a prophecy in which now is approaching its fulfillment in the awakening of the West to the truth of the principles of Islam. It's because of him. It's because of him. Farrakhan. He's united the whole. Oh, praises be to Allah. The parable becomes clear if the word Nur, light, be taken to refer to the Holy Prophet. The Prophet was by nature gifted with the highest qualifications, even before where have I gone now with that? Even before he received divine revelation, his life was a life of purity and devoted to the service of humanity. Light emanated from him even before the light from. I don't know why I'm getting emotional right now. It's really powerful, this whole entire verse, and just this study is really powerful. Light emanated from him even before the light from on high came to him in the form of divine revelation, so that when revelation came to him, it was light upon light. I told you we wouldn't get. I told you we wouldn't get past this verse. I told you. What did I tell you? I was gonna spend about half an hour or something on this verse or something. I just knew it. I just knew it. When I got to this verse, I was like, oh, here we go. Is this verse again? Praises be to Allah. Alright. I think we should move up off it though. Because we're just not gonna. We're not gonna get off it, are we, if we don't? But you don't really do study that verse there. Because that's enough to blow your socks off, to be honest. You'll really love that verse, I think. because it's so I'm a creative. I've said it. I have said it a bit too much, like, but I listen. It's one of my greatest gifts, and the gift of seeing that creative, parabolic, um, flow in the revelations of Allah given to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Really, it can really ignite so many, like, quickly, like, spanning thoughts all at once. I think I said last episode, like, between the time or the space of the pickaxe being raised in the air and hitting the rock, so much can happen in that time, or so much can be shown in just that short space of time. You know, it's like something to really consider, that Allah don't need a lot of time to give a revelation. Really, he just needs to put a picture. He just needs to put a picture into view, and then you see it, and then you can teach on it on based on what you've seen. Like, a lot of people think it's really spookism. It's really spiritual, like, and it has a lot to do with the word and the creative reality of Allah's light and of Allah's being, of Allah's being able to, you know, word things in a way that sparks a flame, or a light, or a, you know, or an idea. Praises be to Allah. Praises be to Allah. So, verse 36. It is in houses which Allah has permitted to be exalted, and his name to be remembered therein. Therein do glorify him, in the mornings and in the evening. Men whom neither merchandise nor selling diverts from the remembrance of Allah, and the keeping up of prayer, and the paying of the poor rate. They fear a day in which the hearts and the eyes will turn about, that Allah may give them the best reward for what they did, and give them more out of his grace. And Allah provides without measure for whom he pleases. Oh, gosh. And those who disbelieve, their deeds are as a mirage in the desert. Oh, that's interesting. A mirage in the desert, which the thirsty man deems to be water, until when he comes to it, he finds it naught, and he finds Allah with him. So he pays him his due, and Allah is swift at reckoning. Or like darkness in the deep sea, there covers him a wave, above which is a wave, above which is a cloud, layers of darkness one above another. Oh, when he holds out his hand, he is almost unable to see it, and to whom Allah gives not light, he has no light. Oh, that's really interesting. Now that was really interesting, because that is almost like the opposite of what we was just focusing on. How I'm reading that now. Oh. And it also, hold on, let me just blow my nose. I want to get into this. We're going to have to go at it again now. We're going to be in for another half an hour. That's really interesting to me, because it's verse 40, and it just reminds me of the children of Israel wandering for 40 years in the wilderness, moaning and groaning at Moses and Aaron. So the 40, and what is chapter 40? Is it the gold? I think it's gold. Hold on. See if my memory's good here. Come on. Oh, it's the believer. Okay. Wait a minute. So if that's the believer, and then the chapter 23 is the believers. Ah, right. I didn't know that. Because Sister said something today. I was watching I was watching the live from Sunday's teaching with Minister Abdul Hakim Muhammad, and sister, who introduces brother. She said that she was relaying a verse, and she said it's verse 40, the believer, and pardon me, I was thinking, wait, isn't chapter 23 the believers? But then I thought, no, she said the believer. So like, I'm just sort of realising that now, really. Because I didn't know whether she got the wrong chapter. I think gold is maybe... Where is gold? Gold is 43, actually, isn't it? Is it 43? I think it is. Yeah, it is 43. Okay. But yeah, what was I saying then? Yeah, I just wanted to see what... I wanted to see what that was all about, really. Just for a sec. I'm kind of studying in the middle of a talk. But you never know, like, I like learning things and then sharing them, so, like, whatever I learn, whatever I pick up on, the believer is taken from the mention of a believer in Moses from among Pharaoh's people. The man pleaded for Moses when Pharaoh wanted to kill him, and drew attention to the fact that if Moses preached the truth, no opposition to him could prosper. Okay, from this, the 40th to the 46th chapter, there's a group of 7 chapters. Wait, that don't make sense. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm reading that wrong. From this, the 40th to the 46th chapter, there's a group of 7 chapters which all begin with Hamim. Does it? Wait, does Muhammad start with that as well? I didn't know that. If it does, I did not know that. I did not know that. No, it doesn't. So, because I'm pretty sure it didn't. So the Sandhills does that. Start with Hamim. No. What does Hamim... What is Hamim? Oh, so it's just like... You see how there's so much to study, beloved? Oh, so it means beneficent God, is that right? Because every one of them starts with beneficent God. I think. Let's see what this one starts with. Yeah, Hamim starts... Hamim means beneficent God, doesn't it? Oh, it may not, Because I know there's a mystery around the... Yasin, Hamim, and Taha, is it? I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to waffle, but yeah. Okay, they all belong to the period when opposition to the Holy Prophet was very bitter. The active persecution of the Muslims had begun, which culminated in their first flight to Abyssinia. Yeah. A lot going on there. I need to read that chapter, I think. Yeah, I definitely need to read that. Yep. Yeah. Alright. Where was I up to, yo? Hopefully I'm not like just going off on my own little tangent and you're bored. I hope you're not getting bored. I hope I'm not boring you. I hope that this study and just this stuff is... Oh yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. Right, yes. Yes, so we're looking at like this opposite kind of verse. So, and those who disbelieve... But that's what I was going to say, praise be to Allah. It's as though... Look how singular the verse 35 was. Because it's saying, a likeness of his light, that reminds me of a servant. So again, I already said it reminds me of Farrakhan. So it's like one Farrakhan, look, one believer, one steadfast believer is harder on the devil than 1,000 ignorant worshippers. The 1,000 ignorant worshippers here represent to me this verse. And those who disbelieve, their deeds are as a mirage in the desert, which the thirsty man deems to be water, until when he comes to it, he finds it naught, and he finds Allah with him. So he pays him his due, and Allah is swift at reckoning. Or like darkness in the deep sea, there covers him a wave, above which is a wave, above which is a cloud. Oh, layers of darkness one above another. When he holds out his hand, he is almost unable to see it. And to whom Allah gives not light, he has no light. That's so powerful. That reminds me of like how many layers of ourselves we have to break through sometimes to get to a place where you know, it really is Allah's grace if we're a believer, you know. And it is Allah's just complete. That's why it's all praise be to Allah all the time. Because if we really knew what condition we would have been in, and if we really knew the kind of darkness that surrounds us, the kind of spiritual darkness, this is what this is giving to me. This is giving like a parable. See, it says, and Allah sets forth parables for men, and Allah is knower of all things. So he is setting a parable here. So we could even point out the main points in this one, or the main words. So disbelieve, or those who disbelieve, mirage, desert, water, reckoning, darkness, deep sea, a wave. See, it's like, you know how Allah did light upon light? Well, on this it's like wave upon a wave, upon which is a cloud above it. So it's like, you see how Allah is like as a circle in his example, or the likeness of his example, or a sphere, or a ball of light. And then, this is just what I'm seeing. And then in this example, it's like layered, so it's horizontal. Because, you know, the sea is like got layers to it, waves of darkness. Like, the further deeper you go, the darker it gets. And like, this is explaining to me the darkness of the mind of a disbeliever. They can't even see their own hand. They can't even see their own deeds. They can't even see, you know. And it says he's almost unable to see it, so that, like, he can see it faintly, you know. And I've heard the minister say that, like, so many times, like, the way we see spiritual language is we see it darkly, you know. And that's another sign. Like, it's really interesting how Allah is speaking to us here. But it's verse 40. And hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so if you look in this verse here, you know those dashes, those gaps that I was telling you? Well, there's 4 in the first parable, and there's also 4 in the last one. Which is really interesting to me. And again, I don't really know what they mean. Maybe we can, and I still need to research that. I keep forgetting to do that. But I wonder what, okay, 5, so there's 5 verses, no, there's 4 verses between, well, there is 1, 2, 3. There's 3 verses in between those 2 parables. So if you can look at it like this, you've got that parable, then 3, and then that other parable. And those 3 verses in the middle are, it is in houses which Allah has permitted to be exalted, and his name to be remembered therein. therein do glorify him in the mornings and the evenings. Men whom neither merchandise nor selling. This is interesting. Men whom neither merchandise nor selling diverts from the remembrance of Allah, and the keeping up of prayer and the paying of the poor rate. They fear a day in which the hearts and the eyes will turn about, that Allah may give them the best reward for what they did, and give them more of His grace, and Allah provides without measure for whom He pleases. That's really interesting because it gives you an idea, it gives you a view into what turns us away from the remembrance of Allah. You see, when Elijah Muhammad said, praise be to Allah, he said that business robbed me of the spirit to teach. Now, how would, business, how would, the financial structure that was to be implemented in the Nation of Islam, why would that take one away from the spiritual diaspora, the spiritual culmination, and the spiritual reality, and the spiritual teaching of which you can be a part of in this work? There's something about how money affects man. We said before that, the form of a woman and her ability to really throw a man off focus because of how divine she is, really, can take man off his focus. But likewise, and we also said that wealth, as well as the form of a man as well, but the wealth can really take a woman's mind to places that is alike to where a man's mind can be taken with the whole sexual urges and controlling of the passions and stuff like that. But look, if woman is from man, then man also, if woman is from the rib of the man, then man is also subject to that same force with wealth, in that wealth can have a blinding element to it. Wealth can have a barricade effect to our growth in the spiritual. Praises be to Allah. A barricade effect. Never said that one before, and that makes a lot of sense, because look, it reminds me of? It reminds me of when someone puts a barricade up. It's and what do you do when you're trying to get rid of the barricade? You have to take pieces off at a time. It's almost in films, you can see it when people when they're boarded up the doors and they're trying to get out, but the doors are boarded, they take off a board at a time. Barricade, everything's been barricaded, or something's been put behind the door so that you can't even move the door, you can't escape. And oh, praises be to Allah. It's such a wretched condition to be a disbeliever in Allah's messages, really, having said what I've just said. Because it's it's like you're putting barricades up and then wondering why you're in trouble. Well, you put the barricade up, yo. Or you allowed there to be a barricade be put up. But so let's go back to that, to not digress too much into that. I'm trying to go into those 3 verses before it, because I feel like it's the gap in between light and darkness, in a way. Houses in which Allah has permitted to be, houses which Allah has permitted to be exalted, and His name to be remembered therein. Therein do glorify Him in the mornings and the evenings. Praise be to Allah. Men whom neither merchandise nor selling diverts them from remembrance of Allah. Shows you the power in remembrance, in just remembering your Lord, like in just remembering the truth. If you value the messengers of Allah, you remember the things they say. You remember it because you love to, again, as it says, you love to be remembering of a day when the hearts and the eyes will turn about. You fear that. They fear a day in which the hearts and the eyes will turn about. So the remembrance, the fear of Allah is the beginning of all wisdom. The fear of God is the beginning of all wisdom. That's in Proverbs, in the Bible. And in a world like this, we have to be really, really remembering of Allah. Seriously, we have to not take advantage of that, that beautiful remembrance that we have access to just by, we're so blessed if we believe in the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and we're helpers of him. You know how blessed you are to really love that man, to really have no doubt, and to never have had a single negative thought about your teacher. Do you know how blessed you are, beloved? If that's you, praises be to Allah. It is really, really beautiful. Because look, they fear a day in which the hearts and eyes will turn about. That Allah may, look what else they've got in mind, that I could even put in there, hopefully, that hopefully Allah may give them, they're not even certain of it. And Allah's not even saying He's certain that He will give, that He may do, He may not, but He may do. And that fear / hope / about the reward and about the punishment, it leaves the true humble believer in a place where they have to be workers, because they have to work to close the gap between them and their reward, them and their blessing, them and their being saved. A lot of people just want to sit there and believe their way into the hereafter. But faith without works, beloved, it's dead. So understand this from Allah. Understand this truth from Allah. And give them more out of His grace. And Allah provides without measure, it says, for whom He pleases. He's even showing you that if you do get off your butt, if you do, get going, if you do come to me, I can give without measure. He is ample forgiving. He is and this is the thing, sometimes we're in despair over Allah's, punishments on us, and His, and His ability to chastise us, and it puts us in a place of despair. But it says in the scripture, in the Quran, that none despair of the mercy of Allah save the disbelievers. I'm pretty sure it says that. And you don't want to despair over Allah's mercy. Always have hope. I remember I wrote a status, believe it or not. When you were young and you write statuses on Facebook. Well, I remember when I was in it was in the beginning of my Islam, and I was seeing everything that was going on in the Middle East, and I got really angry. And maybe I could find it one day. No, probably don't need to. And I was telling people on my status, they're all attacking the East, and I was giving not hope vibes, and not being positive, I was being despairing. I was being in despair of things. And I remember one of the Muslims who I'd gone and had tea at his house with one time, he commented, and he was like, "Be hopeful, Jack." And I always remember it. I always kind of feel like it was, I remember it, you know what I'm saying? I remember it. Because sometimes when you have a good word from Allah, when a good word hits the heart, and when a good word reminds you, you know, it can take away a lot of that pain, a lot of that hurt, a lot of that trouble that you've got going on in your heart, in your mind, sometimes in your impatience to see things come, you know, like the kingdom from you, you know. So anyway, the likeness, yeah. So that's it's really interesting. I wonder what Muhammad see, and you know what's really interesting? Oh no, he does have something to say on that. So the footnote for that on this is, so I'll read it again. And those who disbelieve their deeds are as a mirage. That's another one as well. A mirage. I think mirage means like an illusion. And it's almost like people have a way of, you know, giving you like an illusion of their like obedience, their striving. And it's like, but I don't see anything. So how is it real if I can't? So let me just research what it is first. Yeah, an optical illusion and a phenomenon often occurring in deserts. Oh, so see, dry. You see that? When things go, you know, when they say the conversations run dry, it's gone dry. It's like, I understand that a bit. It's a bit like, how have we not got work to do? How have we not got something to talk about if you know? And that's the thing, you don't expect there to be any water in, you know, or to be anywhere near or inclusive or included around such an analogy as deeds being as a mirage in a desert which a thirsty man deems to be water, until when he comes to it he finds it not, and he finds Allah with him, so he pays him his due, and Allah is swift at reckoning. See, I don't understand that last part when it says and he finds Allah with him, so he pays. I don't, again, but this is the interesting part, is look, Maulana Muhammad Ali has not commented on this. So in the footnotes, it has a 35A, a 36A, a 37A, and it doesn't have a 38 because it's pretty self-explanatory. 38, because 38 is that Allah may give them the best reward, which is Jannah, which is heaven, which is peace and contentment of mind for what they did, and give them more out of His grace, more understanding, more, you know, rivers, gardens in which rivers flow, wisdom of, you know, rivers of wisdom, you know, out of His grace, meaning His heart, His patience, more out of His. It's pretty self-explanatory. But then look, so there's a 37A, but then there's no 30. So there's no 38 because I just explained, and then watch, there's no 39A. So even Molana has gotten to this and gone, what does Allah mean by that? And he's not been able to comment on it. And so, you know, when I'm saying I don't know what that last bit means, I really don't have much for that, beloved. I'm trying my best to extract as much of this out of it as I can, because it is, you know, because those who disbelieve, see, those who disbelieve are like, it reminds me of like the word nice again. I think we covered that maybe 2 episodes ago, maybe it was last episode. But like, when people say I'm a nice person, I'm like, yeah, but that's not good. I'd rather you to, no, that's not kind. That's not good. I'd rather you be kind and good, because Satan can be nice. See? So it's like those who disbelieve, those who are nice, should we say, their deeds are as a mirage in a desert, which a thirsty man deems to be water. See? People who smile in your face, who you know, they put up this kind of like, this kind of front of as though they've welcomed you, as though they have your best interests at heart. And really, that's not the case. And this is why we have to get this spiritual, universal teaching and fundamental element of the teachings of the Most Honourable Elijah Muhammad in our very beings, because we're going to be able to understand how to deal with that kind of behavior in the world. Like, sometimes people smile at me and I know their hearts are like raging at me. So, but that's only due to my spiritual understanding, my spiritually being able to tap in. See, like I know when people buy things for me, or when people get things for me, or when people are trying to do things for me to have me to overlook their true heart towards me. And so it's a bit like that. It's like that reminds me of like a mirage in the desert that looks like water. It looks pleasing. Ooh, what's that? Like, oh, it's a mirage. A mirage is like a light in a desert. Ooh, you know. So, but he does have something for 40A. So let me do 40 again. Or like darkness in the deep sea, there covers him a wave, above which is a wave, above which is a cloud. And another thing just came then as I'm reading that. Cloud is usually full of water. And it's as though water is a means to how they will stay in disbelief. Isn't that funny? Isn't that interesting? Because, you know, sorry, I'm cracking my fingers because they're all needing to be cracked. And isn't that interesting? Because I believe waves or water, or like it is likened unto revelation. How interesting is that? And this is just what's coming to mind. Again, I'm not an intellectual coward. I'll tell you again. I'm not an intellectual coward. I am a creative individual. And I will try to extract as much understanding of this as it regards to those who disbelieve as I can, to help us understand universally how to approach this situation, how to approach these things. So it's as though those who disbelieve, it's like a darkness in the deep sea. There covers him a wave, above which is a wave, above which is a cloud, which can then produce water, you could say, because a cloud, you know, holds water as well. And then it said layers of darkness, one above the other, one above another. Water is a means by which they are covered. It's like, yeah, this is really interesting to me. Because that's it. The thing is, I study those who disbelieve. I swear down. I study how they get round people that believe. I study how the hypocrites get round people that believe, and how they stay in a state where they are not seen, they are not heard, they are not recognised. See, I'm coming after you lot. I'm coming after those hypocrites. I'm coming after those disbelievers. Me, you know, some not those who have not heard the word. Okay, that's different. Those who haven't heard the word are not disbelievers. They can't disbelieve in a word they've never heard the true meaning of. So, you know, understand that. It's disbelievers that do my head in. Or that get to me. The hypocrites, they get to me a bit. Because it's like, well, you know. So, when he holds out his hand, he's almost unable to see it, and to whom Allah gives not light, he has no light. You know, that reminds me of those who have not worked to get up yonder, and yet are expecting yonder. Why are you expecting a light if you've not worked for a light? You know, and then going on, saying light upon light, as though, you know, people, You know what does my head in? That the minister is whole. You know what? Praise be to Allah. That church pastor on Sunday, he was talking to me about how Jesus was holding the sins of the people. But the way he explained it to me, he explained it in such a way I could have cried, to be honest. But because I was speaking with him like in person directly, I was just in awe of how he was explaining it to me, and what that picture was giving to me in my mind of this man, Louis, the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan, in that he has been holding people in the patience. Oh, what a great patience. Oh, my God. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. He's been holding off judgment, to be honest, all on his own. Just by his approach to the situation. And I pray, Allah, that you give me a patience alike to him. I'm already a patient person, but I mean, his level of patience is... It's a liken. See? It's a likeness of his light. See? It's a likeness of... Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth, and a likeness of his light is his light. See? And I pray that, you know, I can have a light that's like his light. A light of patience. You know, they say a light of understanding, or a light of knowledge, or a light of truth. Praise be to Allah. And just the way the pastor was explaining to me how Jesus was like carrying the sins of others, and how he was aware that his prayers had tremendous weight, and how it's almost like he was holding a dam of water that was going to crack. It's like the wall, if you know, no, let me say it like this. Oh my God, have you seen The Last Airbender? Right, you know the film, the first one, the one that everyone wrote off. If you've seen it, you've seen it. If you've not, you've not. But just hear me out. There's a giant wave of water at the end that Aang is like holding on his own. He like, well, he lifts this wave up to like destroy the enemy, but like he holds it at a certain point. In fact, I might watch that later. Just that scene. It's really, I love that scene. He's like holding this giant wave all on his own. What a man. And he's just holding it off. And like, to me, that's like, you know, as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be the coming of the Son of Man. He's holding it off. It's like he's holding it with his bare hands, like he's holding an entire dam of water with his thoughts alone. What a man we have in the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And if we tune into him deeply enough, we will understand how valuable he is. We will understand how much of a blessing it is to help him. To even be considered to be of those that can help him is just enough as a blessing. You know? Okay, we were trying to get to the footnotes, weren't we? Lord have mercy. Well, I told you, beloved. we started at section 5. We've got through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got through 6 verses this whole entire episode. I can't even get through 6 verses of the Quran. But to be fair, these have been hefty verses, guys. I knew it. I just knew it with this chapter that I had to stick on it for a while. I knew it. I had this feeling. I still have this feeling about the rest of it that we've got to go through, which is even more exciting, you know. We've still got like the rest of the chapter to go through. But I think we are gonna end it there. We're gonna go to the. I'll tell you what we will do. We'll go to. Cause I'm just thinking about olives now. And I want to get my olives now. We're just gonna go to section 7. So we'll read up to section 7. So we'll start from section 7 next time. All right. So the footnotes to 40. To that verse there. As the first part of the section gives a picture of the brilliant and dazzling divine light which is given to the believers, the last part describes the utter darkness and doubt and ignorance in which the disbelievers are. Their apparent hopes of success are compared with a mirage, and when they are let me get this straight here. Their apparent hopes of success are compared with a mirage, and when they are undeceived of these, they will find themselves in the presence of God and will have their dues paid to them. Oh, okay. Oh, well, I've been reading that a whole lot different. I've been seeing that a whole lot different. Which is why you should always be open to other ways of seeing things. Because you might be chatting waffle and thinking you're not. Yeah, let me see. Oh, I'm gonna have to research that, because I'm gonna have to revisit that. Just this whole section, to be honest. All right. Seest thou not that Allah is He, whom do glorify all those who are in the heaven and the earth, and the birds with wings outspread? Question mark. Each one knows its prayer and its glorification, and Allah is knower of what they do. And Allah's is the kingdom of the heavens and the earth, and Allah is the eventual coming. Seest thou not that Allah drives along the clouds, then gathers them together, then piles them up, so that thou seest the rain coming forth from their midst? Question mark. And He sends down from the heaven clouds like mountains, wherein is hail, afflicting therewith whom He pleases, and turning it away from whom He pleases. The flash of His lightning almost takes away the sight. Allah causes the night and the day to succeed one another. Surely there is a lesson in this for those who have sight. And Allah has created every animal of water. So of them is that which crawls upon its belly, and of them is that which walks upon 2 feet, and of them is that which walks upon 4. Allah creates what He pleases. Surely Allah is possessor of power over all things. We have indeed revealed clear messages, and Allah guides whom He pleases to the right way. And they say, we believe in Allah and His Messenger, and we obey. Then a party of them turn away after this, and they are not believers. And when they are invited to Allah and His Messenger, that He may judge between them, lo, a party of them turn aside. And if the right is on their side, they hasten to Him in submission. Is there in their hearts a disease, or are they in doubt? Or fear they that Allah and His Messenger will deal with them unjustly? Nay, they themselves are the wrongdoers. This has been a really interesting talk today. It's really brought a lot of things into view. Like, even the way that it talks about the flash of His lightning, you know. I would love to know what the lightning means to Allah. I would love to know what the thunder means to Allah. You know, here's the grace about having Elijah Muhammad as a teacher, is that, and the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan as a teacher, is that he met with God face to face. So if you can imagine it like this, sorry, let me just put my coat on a little minute. It's like Elijah Muhammad had the blessing of being able to ask Allah face to face what things mean and what things are. And obviously we actually get that blessing in prayer. We get that blessing in reaching out to Allah. But can you just imagine, like, the types of questions and just the amount of questions that Elijah Muhammad had for Allah in the person of Master W.D Fard Muhammad, the Great Mahdi? It's almost like, and can you imagine then why he cried so much when he departed? Because sorry, that's my stomach. It's probably calling and saying, now's the time, because it's like 2 minutes till Ramadan, till it breaks, till I break fast. So, can you imagine why he was so, like, you know, he felt like he was going to be so unworthy to do the job? Because when you're with Master Fard Muhammad in person, you know, it must have been so hard to let go that he wasn't going to be there to question about, you know, all and anything. He couldn't just pick up the phone. He couldn't just drive to the Master's house. It'd be interesting to know where the Master, like, stayed. Because, you know, 4847 South Woodlawn Avenue is the Most Honourable Elijah Muhammad's house. But I wonder where Master Fard Muhammad stayed. Well, that's interesting. Again, that's a question. I'd be like, Master, where do you stay? Like, where are you going? Where do you go? He's so mysterious. Like when he disappeared. Sorry, you can even search this on, like, YouTube. Sorry, not YouTube. On Google, on Wikipedia. Just type in Master Fard Muhammad, and it will say disappeared 19, whatever it was. Let's have a look at it. Disappeared in 1933, I think it were. Master Fard Muhammad. It's so interesting. Look, you ready? It says, born, date uncertain, NOI tradition claims 26th of February. Facts. And then it says place uncertain, NOI. See how it says uncertain? You just don't want to admit what we're teaching is truth. Place uncertain, tradition, and NOI tradition claims Mecca. See? So, and then it also says other. No, I'm not going to say that. Because, no. He was born in Mecca. Okay, let's just get that straight. Ah, no, stomach, I'm coming. Just give me a minute. So, look, it says, look, born 26th February 1877 in Mecca, disappeared. So, in 1934, disappeared. So, we're talking about somebody who just seamlessly just seemed to just disappear into thin air. I just think Master Fard Muhammad was such a powerful individual that the Honourable Elijah Muhammad had so much that he had learned just by accepting who he was. And then from that, imagine just being with such a person for 3 and a bit years. I mean, even just imagine what you would ask him in a week. Just think over that. In 1 week, what would you ask Master Fard Muhammad when you come to know that he's the Son of Man that travelled from the east onto the west, the lightning that shines forth from the east onto the west? So shall be the coming of the Son of Man. What would you ask him? In just 1 week, you'd probably have a book full of, I would anyway. You'd have a book full of messages, you'd have a book full of, you know, work that you would love to have, like, answered, really. you'd have so many. I mean, I've got so many questions in my works that when I've got obviously through into my studies and something's come through, I'm like, what does Allah mean by that? Or like, I wonder what that. It's always a question. I'm always like, but this is the thing. Allah, sorry, Most Honourable Elijah Muhammad, he said something very powerful. He said, "Ask me any question that you would ask God." That's powerful, because God had brought him to a place that you could ask him any question that you would like to ask to God, and he would be able to answer it. Or he was confident that he would be able to answer it. That's not just confidence, that's like surety. He was certain. He was of that certainty. See how doubt and certainty don't exist together? Doubt and certainty just, they don't get along. Because faith and, unfaithfulness, it don't blend. If you're faithful that you're gonna, achieve something, and you're with somebody who's not really faithful that you're gonna be able to achieve that something, there's only so much you can walk with that man. Like Moses and the wise man. Moses wasn't an evil man. It's just he had doubts. He had not the patience to walk with the wise man. But look how the wise man was warning him. He kept warning him. If you keep pulling me up, I'm gonna leave. or rather, he would. What did he say? No, it's in Surah Al-Kahf. Pretty sure it's the cave. It is the cave, because I'm starting to be more aware of what is where in scripture. I'm pretty sure. Is it at the end? It is such an interesting part to this this chapter, isn't it? Moses and the wise man. It always hits deep. Because it shows us how blind we can be to something that is really just so simple if we just held a bit of faith. Do you know? It says, "And say not of anything, I will do that tomorrow, unless Allah please." So it's why, just a reminder, those that say, "I will do such and such a thing," let us say, inshallah, let us say, unless Allah please, let us remember to to see who ultimately brings things forth, Maybe I can't find it. I don't know why I can't find it. Is it Al-Kahf? Oh yeah. But when he gone further, he said to his servant, "Bring us our morning meal." Then we found one of our servants whom we granted mercy from us, and whom we had taught knowledge from ourselves. Moses said to him, "May I follow thee, that thou mayest teach me of the good thou hast been taught?" He said, Thou canst not have patience with me, and how canst thou have patience in that whereof thou hast not a comprehensive knowledge? See, when Elijah Muhammad was in trust of the master, he was in trust that he had a more comprehensive knowledge than him. And so he was able to be patient, and he was able to trust when he was ordered to be patient. For instance, when the master told him, stop asking me about the sun, as in the S-U-N. He said, stop asking me about the sun. Elijah took that serious, you know. He didn't ask about the sun no more. I'm pretty sure he didn't. But I tell you what he probably did do. He probably studied upon that sun. He probably looked at that study like it was more than he thought from that point on. You know? So anyway, yes, I'm going to go break fast anyway. And it's been a wonderful episode today. A really wonderful episode. I've really enjoyed myself. I really have. I've really enjoyed myself today. I'm really grateful. And I hope it's same energy, same vibes tomorrow. You know, so could even do another lyric tomorrow. You know, I wonder which one we could even give you a bit of a preview of like what we could do. The Chosen. Oh no, is it The Chosen? Oh no, that's a study. Sorry. That's a good study, that as well. Can't wait to release that. The Child, I was going to say. That was it. Where is it? The Child. And I can't find the lyric. But listen, we'll definitely leave it for tomorrow. And yeah, just have a blessed night. And praises be to Allah. I can say that I'm of myself nothing, and I can do of myself nothing. Only He it is, Allah, that can guide one's heart, one's mind, one's soul, one's strength, one's essence, to become an instrument of His understanding, and to become a reminder of His love, light and presence, and a reflection of His will, if it be Allah's will. Praises be to Allah. And I greet you in the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be upon you in the Arabic language. And inshallah, if it be Allah's will, we'll see you tomorrow. Okay? For another episode. Episode. In fact, this was 27. So let's have a bit of a 27. Let's read the first bit of 27, guys, because I like Miracle Namel. Benignant hearing God. These are the verses of the Quran and the book that makes manifest. A guidance and good news for the believers who keep up prayer and pay the poor rate, and they are sure of the hereafter. Those who believe not in the hereafter, we make their deeds fair seeming to them, but they blindly wander on. These are they for whom it is an evil chastisement, and in the hereafter they are the greatest losers. And thou art surely made to receive the Quran from the wise, the knowing. When Moses said to his family, surely I see a fire, I will bring you news thence, or bring you therefrom a burning brand, so that you may warm yourselves. So when he came to it, a voice issued, saying, blessed is he who is in search of fire and those around it, and glory be to Allah, the Lord of all the worlds. Oh, that's it says, O Moses, surely I am Allah, the mighty, the wise, and cast down thy rod. So when he saw it in motion, as if it were a serpent, he turned back retreating, and did not return. O Moses, fear not, surely the messengers fear not in my presence. Praise be to Allah. Oh, that's beautiful, that. Nor he who does wrong, then does good after. Oh, praise be to Allah. So, O Moses, fear not, surely the messengers fear not in my presence, nor he who does wrong, then does good instead after evil. Surely I am forgiving, merciful. See, in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful. Never forget why we say that. Don't be in despair ever about that mercy that He has. Always be hopeful, beloved. I read the first 10 verses then in that. And there's so many in that. It talks about Solomon in that chapter as well. Praise be to Allah. So we will, inshallah, I'm actually going to go this time, but we are, inshallah, going to see you tomorrow to finish off this glorious chapter, the light, al-Nur. Okay, assalamu alaikum, and peace be upon you, and enjoy your breaking of fast, as I will, inshallah. Praise be to Allah.